Should we ask higher powers for help? Activating the frequency of abundance. For centuries, organized religions, often seen as intermediaries between humanity and the divine, have taught people to pray, ask, and request help from higher powers. From childhood, many of us accepted this approach without questioning it. But what happens if we pause for a moment and look at this idea from a fresh perspective? When a person constantly asks for something from God or from higher forces, they may unknowingly reinforce a feeling of helplessness. Continuous asking can place the individual in the psychological position of someone who believes they lack the power to influence their own life. In everyday life, we notice a similar dynamic. Helping someone once feels natural. Helping twice may still feel generous. But when requests become constant, they can begin to create tension. The person who repeatedly asks without attempting change may appear dependent rather than empowered. This comparison invites an interesting reflection. A simple analogy. Imagine you are a parent whose child is already 30 or 40 years old, yet constantly comes to you asking for money, solutions, health, or happiness, relying entirely on you to improve their life. Even if that child praises and admires you endlessly, what would you truly feel? Most likely not pride, but sadness that they never learned independence or confidence in their own abilities. Now imagine another adult child, responsible, active, and self-directed. They occasionally express gratitude for what they were given, life, support, opportunities, but they take responsibility for their own path. Sometimes they even share their own resources and joy with you. Which child would bring more peace to a loving parent? Gratitude strengthens connection. Dependence weakens it. Asking versus trusting. Of course, there are moments in life when genuine help is needed. Crisis situations exist, and reaching out, spiritually or practically, can be natural and meaningful. But when asking becomes a permanent state of mind, a person may gradually lose confidence in their own capacity to act. Attention shifts away from creation and toward waiting. From a psychological perspective, repeated requests reinforce an identity of lack. The mind begins to focus on what is missing rather than what already exists. And what we focus on tends to shape our experience of reality. The creative power of gratitude. If constant asking reflects a mindset of scarcity, what represents the opposite? Gratitude. Gratitude does not deny difficulties. Instead, it shifts attention toward existing resources, health, abilities, opportunities, relationships, or even simple daily comforts. When a person sincerely feels thankful, their internal state changes. They begin to perceive themselves not as deprived, but as already supported by life. This emotional state often leads to different choices, clearer thinking, and greater openness to opportunities. In psychological terms, gratitude increases resilience and motivation. In spiritual language, it aligns a person with the energy of abundance. Sometimes life responds less to our words than to our inner state. Practicing abundance awareness. You might begin by asking yourself, what already exists in my life that I rarely notice? What can I appreciate today? Even something small. What future experiences can I feel grateful for in advance as possibilities rather than absences? Gratitude for what is grounds us. Gratitude for what may come opens us. 2 inner states. A mindset of scarcity often expresses itself through constant dissatisfaction, comparison and envy, resentment, dependence on external rescue, fear and distrust. A mindset of abundance, by contrast, grows through appreciation, trust in life, calm confidence, creative action, respect for others, acceptance of mistakes as part of growth. Such a person moves closer to self-reliance and inner harmony, qualities many spiritual traditions associate with alignment with the Creator itself. Perhaps the divine does not seek human weakness or endless pleading, but conscious, responsible individuals capable of creating, learning, and growing, much like a loving parent hopes to see their child become strong and independent. And gratitude may be one of the simplest ways to move closer to that state.